Top 10 Best Action Netflix Movies. Been feeling cooped up for an especially long summer? It's time to get some action in your life by sitting on the couch and watching an action movie. The action genre is an incredibly popular and crowded one. Hey guys, welcome to your entertainment channel Netflix Tops, where we will tell you about the top-rated movies and series on Netflix. So grab your popcorn and stay with us until the end of the video, because today's video is going to list down the top 10 action movies to watch on Netflix. So let's get started. Number 10. A near-future sci-fi flick by Snowpiercer director Bong Joon-ho. This is exactly the type of Netflix original the world needs. Funny, weird, and utterly charming. Part environmental parable, part bleeding heart manifesto. The movie Okja follows Mija, a 10-year-old whose best friend is a super pig called Okja. When the lab that created her friend steals the swine away from her, Mija embarks on an adventure to retrieve Okja that takes her across the globe. Unlike the brutal, bleak landscape of Snowpiercer, Okja showcases Joon-ho's softer side. It's still oddball and wacky, but packed with a ton of heart. One of Netflix's first movies that manages to juggle different ideas without losing sight of the goal. A real genre-bending effort. Oh, and Tilda Swinton. Anything that involves Tilda Swinton is worth watching. Number 9. Several collaborations deep, and action champ Scott Adkins and director Jesse Johnson's established rapport continues. Well, put Adkins into an increasingly hairy situation, where the only way out is through someone's face. The pair in this film, The Debt Collector, typically ramp up the Guy Ritchie-esque British crime thriller template. Yet this time, they relocate to sunny Los Angeles, where Atkins's dedicated martial arts teacher, French, is struggling to keep his dojo open. He quickly accepts a job as a debt collector that connects him with Sue, a former B-movie ninja expert, whose shabby aesthetic masks his thunderous desire to break people's legs. Johnson and Adkins are in their element here. The stunt coordinator turned director dispenses with scene after scene of action comedy genius, clearly comfortable with both at this point in his career. Number 8. One of Netflix's very first productions was a bold proposition indeed. A war movie in a fictional African country, performed for long stretches in Twi, a dialect of the Akan language, spoken in Ghana. About a child soldier groomed for violence by a simultaneously terrifying and magnetic commandant, Beasts of No Nation plays out in just as bleak a manner as the premise suggests, leaving the viewer morally conflicted and emotionally exhausted. In a movie that's equal parts thrilling and harrowing, Idris Elba delivers an absolute masterclass in his role as the commandant. You watch him groom a child for war and perform several war crimes, and yet, somehow, you still find yourself wanting to root for him. And no less of a revolution is the young Abraham Attah as Agu. Number 7. We're in a post-MCU world now, where the superhero shtick is no longer counterculture. As a result, we are now getting more fun, straight-to-streaming picks like Code 8. Set in a world where roughly 4% of the population is born with abilities. Alas, this circumstance is sadly not met with excitement, but the majority of citizens who cower away from powers, including Connor, Robbie Amell, a 20-something laborer struggling to pay his mother's medical bills. He harnesses his electrokinetic powers and joins forces with a criminal gang in order to raise the cash. Arrowverse heroes and real-life cousins Robbie and Stephen Amell co-star after having raised the financing for the film through Kickstarter. It's their on-screen dynamic that truly sells it, with the older Amell playing the thuggish crook who enlists Connor. Writer-director Jeff Kahn hardly has the type of budget typically tossed at superhero fare, yet this grittier take on the X-Men-esque world delivers plenty of compelling action sequences. Number 6. Watching Chinese box office smash The Wandering Earth, it seems like if screenwriter mainlined every 90s Hollywood disaster movie, then promptly declared, "Hold all my beers in the world." The sweaty-browed machismo of American popcorn entertainment is nothing compared to what's being dubbed China's first popular sci-fi blockbuster. The story somehow surpasses them all. Earth is in dire straits as the sun is on the cusp of dying out, making life on the planet uninhabitable. Scientists pepper the Earth's surface with 10,000 rocket thrusters, enabling Earth to be directed to a new star system, as long as they also avoid pesky Jupiter's gravity. It's ambitious as hell, yet director Frank Wow and his team somehow juggled a superb ensemble cast along with a series of showy visuals for an at times arresting disaster actioner. Number 5. Not a classic action movie, but features enough war-torn action to certainly find itself on this list. The Five Bloods is directed by Spike Lee and tells the story of 4 U.S. veterans played by Delroy Lindo, Clark Peters, Isaiah Whitlock Jr., and Norm Lewis, returning to Vietnam to locate and repatriate the remains of their squad leader played by Chadwick Boseman. There is also the little matter of finding a chunk of gold bullion they buried during the war. It was intended to pay locals for their help against the Viet Cong, but when it went down with the CIA plane, our heroes took it for themselves. This is a frequently fierce, fascinating picture, and that's why it's classed here as one of the best Netflix action movies available now. Number 4. It is inspired by the experiences of the 157-strong Irish Army during their 1961 UN peacekeeping mission in the Congo. It's hard to believe that Jamie Dornan of 50 Shades can deliver on the dramatic action front in The Siege of Jadotville, but he's at the top of his game as Commandant Pat Quinlan in this Netflix original. He leads his 150 men into battle with a world of wariness that seems baked in, taking them on a life-changing mission to hold steady a fort from 3,000 Congolese troops. Part of director Richie Smith's plan to toughen up his actors before shooting was to ensure that their experiences felt real. He made all of them attend a soldier training camp, and boy, does it show. That's how you bring a layer of emotional truth to a movie like this. Number 3. A brisk, laugh-packed buddy comedy set over the course of one night. Nope, we're not talking about your standard 80s male-fronted pics. The Lovebirds takes that concept and splices it with the remnants of a fairy tale love story, opening on a couple, Gibran and Liliani, on their way to a party that they never reach because they fight in the car and decide to break up. It's tense, not particularly fun, and all feels a little grim, until Gibran accidentally hits a cyclist who refuses their help. Things spiral from that point, sending the duo into harm's way repeatedly over the evening. They encounter a host of crooks who want to kill them, naturally making them work together as a team to survive their ordeal. It's hardly reinventing the wheel, but that's down to the comedic chops of Kumail Nanjiani and Isaiah Ray as the couple who deliver both gags and surprisingly solid beatdowns throughout. Number 2. Unrelenting in its pursuit of scenarios, where guys point big guns at each other in sparsely lit empty hallways. Time to Hunt is a South Korean thriller that knows exactly what stylistic register it's playing at. A group of 4 friends, including Parasite and Train to Busan breakout Choi Woo-sik, knock over a gambling house, stealing a hefty bag of money and a set of even more valuable hard drives, and then find themselves targeted by ruthless contract killer Park Hae-soo, who moves like the T-1000 and shoots like a henchman in a Michael Mann movie. There are dystopian elements to the world. Protests play out in the streets, the police wage a tech-savvy war on citizens, automatic rifles are readily available to all potential buyers, but they all serve the simmering tension and elevate the pounding set pieces instead of feeling like unnecessary allegorical padding. Time to Hunt uses its elongated runtime to build sequences in a meticulous, considerate way that should appeal to viewers who have seen Heat, Collateral, and Miami Vice too many times to count. Number 1. Quentin Tarantino loves a satirical, revisionist history. The Django Unchained turns to slavery in the antebellum South without sidestepping controversy to reimagine what some bloody good justice might have looked like and rewrite the Western. Anchored by the brilliant performances of Jamie Foxx as a freed slave and Christopher Waltz as a bounty hunter who seeks help in carrying out his services, the period piece becomes an all-out gunslinging romp as they set out to free Django's wife, Kerry Washington. It's an award-winning epic that refuses to ever hold back. And this brings us to the end of the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing movie reviews coming your way. And thank you for watching.